The original one, the woman being haunted, was a woman. It wasn't a child. Why did you think that it was important to?
Well, first of all, because the function of the character was truly that no one believed her. But the tragedy in the '73 movie is that it was Kim Darby as an adult, and she really was like almost morbidly submissive.
Yeah.
You know, she was like passive, and she was really almost like a battered character, and I wanted to create a movie that had very strong female roles, you know, and both the leads, and it was a story where the male character was kind of useless.
Oh.
And it was like the male character was kind of so self-absorbed that that only the adult woman started to listen to the child, and I thought it was interesting that as the character of Kim says, it doesn't matter if it's real to her, and starts listening to the kid. But that's the big twist. We did, the original was definitely just a horror movie, straight on, and we're trying to make it have really dark fairy tale elements into it.
This might be kind of a weird question, but did you feel a presence in this house? Did you feel a haunting while you were there shooting?
No, we used the outside of a house, like a real house, and then the inside was a set. The grounds of the outside of the house, where the exterior location, it didn't feel like something was going to come out and grab you. But it was inspiring because it really did feel like a fairy tale, but also, you could believe that something creepy could happen. But I never got the sense that, like, there was a ghost or anything lurking. It was just kind of like, wow, this is the perfect place for this kind of movie, and it was beautiful.
And what about your character? With Guillermo was just talking about having strong female roles here. What was your reaction to Kim? I mean, she seems to be frustrated, with her relationship at first, and then she becomes the fierce protector.
Well, that's what I really loved about her, and it was thrilling to work with Guillermo, and I was very excited, especially, one of my favorite scenes is at the end of the movie when Kim is hurt, and she wakes up and she realizes that Sally's in danger, and then you see her use up all of her strength to do what she has to do. And I think that's very real, and I like seeing strong female characters, and somebody who doesn't run away screaming when she's scared, but confronts the monsters, and so I really enjoyed it.
Like a mother lion. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's also so interesting because she begins the movie fearful that she's going to be the unloved stepmother, but she becomes more of a parent to Sally than her actual parents.
Right. I love the relationship between Kim and Sally, and I love the bonding that occurs, and it's really about two human beings that recognize something of themselves in each other, and that shared relationship that turns into something very special and powerful. And Kim has to learn not only to listen, but how to bring this little girl into her life and make her feel safe, and then do the ultimate act of generosity.
But the curious thing is, it has to be very clear that what was attractive to me is that she already had a mother, who by the description and the little interactions is a terrible mother. But what they find is each other. They find each other not as mother and daughter, which is the role Kim was afraid of entering into, because we hint at her having a terrible childhood too. But they find each other as women, as two women that are completely have to make each other strong, because the guy around which all their lives kind of circles around is frankly an absent-minded, self-centered little prick.
And when you were young, what what used to scare you in the dark, if anything, and did you go back to that when you were doing this?
No, yes, I had many times lucid dreams. So I used to see things in the dark in a dream where I dreamt I was in the space I was. So they seemed real. So I was very afraid of the dark as a child, and because my brothers and I saw the movie together, we made it a point to scare each other by saying Sally, like Sally, and then they would run away. Neither of us were named Sally. That didn't make it any less scary. But no, I was very afraid as a child.
Guillermo, you mentioned last night.
Wait, can Katie answer the question?
What I was afraid of as a child?
Yes.
I'm the youngest of 5, so my brothers and sisters and I would, try to scare each other too and hide and jump out and things like that.
You were the youngest, right?
Yes.
So they could really get to you.
And I could really get to them because I was so small. So things like that.
Okay.
Sure.
Guillermo, you mentioned last night a book that you got inspiration for, the creatures, that they were like in a neutral world. It was like good or evil.
Yeah.
I forgot the book.
Well, no, it's many. It's not one book. It's like the studies of folklore in Judeo-Christian mythology say that the fairy folk, when God and the devil waged battle, the fairy folk declared themselves neutral. They didn't care which one won, and therefore they were cast down under the earth to live under the earth, and they are not. In traditional folklore, they are not necessarily considered beneficial. They are considered creatures that can bring great gifts and goods, or they can be absolutely terrible. Kidnap babies, kidnap people, return them. They can kidnap an 8-year-old and return them 15 years later, same age, with the parents aged. Remember Rip Van Winkle, that disappears for many years, and they are known to really be very tricky, very elusive, morally elusive characters.
Well, and they also managed to figure out electricity and garage door openers.
Well, what they do is they do very basic electricity. They just fry themselves. They fry themselves. But what is great, that was in the original movie, and I adored it because it shows they are so smart. They are tacticians. In order to bring down a 6-foot-tall guy, they use the wires. They use they use a little hook to turn off the lights. They know he's using that little box to operate the car door, and they hide it. I think what is very scary about these little things is not only that they are unstoppable and determined, but they're smart.